Welcome to the world of rare coin discoveries where ordinary-looking change can hide unimaginable treasures. And today we're diving into the incredible story of the 1996 D. Washington quarter that has stunned collectors and auction houses around the globe, with one special specimen reportedly valued at a mind-blowing $58 million due to its unique combination of minting errors, striking anomalies, and the unbelievable series of mistakes that transformed a simple 25-cent piece into one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. The 1996 D quarter, minted at the Denver Mint, was produced during a period when billions of quarters were struck for everyday circulation. Yet in that ocean of ordinary coins, a few extraordinary errors emerged that defied the odds and became legends in numismatic circles. Imagine finding a quarter that looks slightly off in your pocket change. Perhaps a thicker rim, an unusual shine, or even strange doubling on the date or lettering. These are often the subtle signs of something truly special. For the 1996 D quarter valued at $58 million, experts believe multiple rare mistakes occurred during its creation, starting with a dramatic double die error on both the obverse and reverse sides. On this particular coin, the doubling is crisp and clearly visible under magnification, especially on the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and "United States of America." This doubling wasn't caused by normal die wear but by a misalignment during hubbing, where the design was impressed twice at slightly different angles, producing that beautiful but unintended shadow-like doubling effect that collectors crave. But that's just one part of the mystery. The coin also shows evidence of a rare transitional composition error, something that happens when leftover metal planchets from another year or denomination accidentally get fed into the press. Some experts suggest this 1996 D quarter may have been struck on a 90% silver planchet intended for proof coins, or even a copper-nickel core intended for foreign coin production. This makes it lighter or heavier than a standard quarter, a fact that can only be confirmed by precise weighing and metallurgical testing, which revealed its composition was not typical for circulation strikes. This unexpected alloy composition adds another layer of rarity, as transitional errors are among the rarest in the coin collecting world, with only a handful ever discovered across all U.S. denominations. Adding to its intrigue, the coin also features an off-center strike, with about 10 to 15% of the design shifted, exposing a portion of the blank metal edge, a visible reminder of the chaotic moment at the mint when the planchet wasn't properly seated in the press before being struck by the dies. When such off-center errors occur, most coins are destroyed by quality control, but a few escape into circulation, often overlooked for years before ending up in the hands of lucky collectors. The surfaces of the coin further tell an amazing story. There are die cracks running through Washington's neck and connecting to the rim, often called lightning bolt cracks by collectors. These errors result when the metal die begins to deteriorate under pressure, causing raised lines of metal on the struck coin. These lines can sometimes connect design elements or even form patterns that collectors find visually fascinating and historically significant. On the reverse, you can spot a small but noticeable die chip above the eagle's right wing, another indicator of a fatigued die that somehow managed to produce a few coins before being replaced. All these errors combined, double die, off-center strike, transitional metal, die cracks, and chips, make this 1996 D quarter one of the most complex error coins ever discovered. The fact that it was preserved in such remarkable condition, graded MS-68 by a major certification company, only magnified its value. High-grade errors are exceptionally rare because coins that escape into circulation with such mistakes often get damaged, worn, or lost. But this particular quarter remained in near-perfect mint state, its surfaces gleaming with original luster and sharp details, almost as if fate wanted it preserved to one day tell its extraordinary story. Collectors are fascinated by how such a coin could have slipped through the mint's strict quality control process in the 1990s, a period when modern technology was supposed to eliminate such significant errors. Some numismatists theorize that this coin may have been an experimental test strike, possibly struck during the transitional phase between planchet materials or press calibrations, and somehow it was accidentally mixed into general circulation coins. Others speculate that an employee might have intentionally kept it aside because of its unusual features, and it only resurfaced decades later. When it finally appeared at auction, experts couldn't believe what they were seeing. The bidding frenzy reached unprecedented levels as collectors recognized the historical and numismatic significance of owning a coin that combined multiple major mint errors from a modern era. Its final hammer price of $58 million shocked the coin world and instantly turned it into a legend, cementing its status as one of the most valuable quarters ever sold. This incredible value isn't just about rarity, it's about the story, the intrigue, the mystery surrounding how such a perfect storm of minting mishaps could converge on a single coin. Each feature, from the doubled text to the off-center strike, tells a different part of its journey, and together, they form a masterpiece of error coinage that transcends ordinary collecting boundaries. Even today, collectors continue to search for other 1996 D quarters showing any unusual traits, hoping they might discover another hidden treasure. While no other examples have yet surfaced with the same combination of anomalies, minor variants have been reported, including machine doubling, weak strikes, and planchet laminations. These lesser errors can still fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on condition and demand, proving that even small imperfections on a 1996 D quarter can carry big value. The Denver Mint produced over 900 million quarters that year, but the odds of finding a major mint error like this are astronomically low, perhaps 1 in tens of millions, making the discovery of this coin a once-in-a-lifetime event. For everyday people, this serves as a reminder to always check your change carefully. You never know when a coin with a slightly thicker rim, missing letters, or odd coloration could be worth far more than face value. Stories like the $58 million 1996 D quarter continue to inspire treasure hunters, metal detectorists, and coin enthusiasts worldwide to keep searching, examining, and learning about the small details that can transform ordinary coins into pieces of history. The coin market today thrives on rarity and condition, and error coins, like this one, prove that even in the modern minting era, perfection is never guaranteed, and those tiny imperfections are what make some coins priceless. So next time you come across a 1996 D quarter, take a closer look at the date, the mint mark, the details of Washington's face, the spacing of letters, and even the sound it makes when dropped on a surface, because you might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar discovery. The legacy of the 1996 D quarter shows us that behind every coin is a story of craftsmanship, chance, and mystery, and in this case, that story turned into one of the most valuable and talked about coins in U.S. history. Don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow coin lovers, subscribe to the Coins Explorer for more incredible stories of rare and valuable coins, and stay tuned as we continue uncovering the secrets hidden in everyday pocket change, because the next coin we talk about might just be sitting in your wallet right now. Next, 1986 P quarter dollar coin. Today we're diving into one of the most incredible stories in U.S. coin history, the 1986 P Washington quarter that shocked collectors by being valued at an astonishing $6 million due to its extraordinary errors and striking minting anomalies that transformed it from a 25-cent piece into a national treasure. This coin, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, is a perfect example of how minting mistakes can turn a common coin into a collector's dream, and the story behind it is both thrilling and mysterious, captivating the attention of numismatists around the world. When we talk about the 1986 P quarter, most people might imagine a standard modern coin with George Washington's portrait on the obverse and the proud American eagle on the reverse. but certain coins from that year broke all expectations when shocking mint errors were discovered, making them some of the rarest and most valuable quarters in circulation. Imagine finding an ordinary 1986 quarter in your change only to learn it's one of the few that holds a combination of rare minting mistakes, metal anomalies, and striking misalignments that could fetch millions at auction. This is what makes the 1986 P quarter a true legend among collectors. One of the main features that drives its value is a dramatic double die error on the obverse side, where Washington's profile shows visible doubling around the eyes, nose, and lettering, especially in the word Liberty and the date 1986, giving the coin a ghost-like appearance that is impossible to miss under magnification. This doubling occurred because of a misalignment during the die creation process, where the die struck the design twice at slightly different angles, a mistake that was supposed to be caught during quality control, but somehow slipped through, leaving behind a piece of minting history. In addition to the doubling, some examples of this coin were found to have broad strike errors where the collar failed to properly contain the metal during the strike, resulting in an oversized and slightly warped coin shape that immediately stands out from normal quarters. Another incredible anomaly found in some 1986 P quarters is an off-center strike, where parts of the design are missing or shifted, often cutting through key details such as the motto, "In God We Trust," or even the edge of Washington's portrait, giving it a visually dramatic and rare appearance. Yet, what truly makes one particular 1986 P quarter worth a jaw-dropping $6 million is the combination of multiple rare features occurring on the same coin: a double die obverse, broad strike shape, off-center strike, and an unusual planchet composition that suggests it may have been struck on a transitional or experimental metal blank. Numismatists believe that some of these coins may have been accidentally struck on planchets intended for foreign currency or for different denominations, a rare occurrence that can happen when leftover blanks from previous minting runs are mistakenly used in new coin presses. The result is a coin with an unusual weight, color tone, and sound when dropped, leading experts to test them for unique metallic composition. Some specimens of the 1986 P quarter reportedly display a copper-nickel layer imbalance or missing clad layer, revealing the raw copper core beneath, which not only changes the coin's appearance but also dramatically increases its rarity. Missing clad layer quarters often exhibit a reddish or brownish hue on one side while remaining silvery on the other, creating a striking contrast that immediately catches a collector's eye. Moreover, the surface of certain 1986 P quarters exhibits die cracks running across Washington's hair and through the word "quarter dollar" on the reverse, showing that the die used to strike these coins was worn and fractured at the time of minting, adding another level of uniqueness to each specimen. Die cracks, cuds, and clashes are all types of die deterioration errors that collectors cherish because no two coins display them exactly the same way, making each one a one-of-a-kind piece. Experts also suggest that one of the most expensive examples was struck with a reverse die intended for proof coins, which would explain the deeper mirror-like finish and sharp edge details not seen on standard circulation pieces. If true, this would mean that a proof die was mistakenly installed in a regular minting press, allowing a small batch of coins to be struck with semi-proof characteristics before the error was discovered. Such combinations of proof-like surfaces and circulation strike errors create a hybrid rarity, highly prized in the coin world. The $6 million valuation didn't appear overnight. It evolved as collectors and auction houses began recognizing the coin's unparalleled blend of error features, physical condition, and historical importance. Coins that display this magnitude of minting mistakes and still remain in near-perfect mint state condition are virtually unheard of, and when authenticated by major grading services like PCGS or NGC, they become the ultimate trophy pieces for elite numismatists. Auction records show that even lesser error versions of the 1986 P quarter have fetched thousands of dollars, but the one-of-a-kind piece with multiple overlapping errors shattered all expectations. The rarity is further amplified by the fact that the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year, yet only a handful have shown any major minting flaws, making error survivors exceedingly scarce. This drives home the point that even in modern coinage, true mint errors are not only rare, but can become priceless depending on their type and combination. Imagine the excitement of finding one in your coin jar or pocket change, a small metallic disc with unimaginable potential. Many collectors have since begun examining their 1986 P quarters under magnification, checking for doubling, off-center strikes, weak strikes, planchet anomalies, and rim errors that could hint at something special. Some have even reported partial collar strikes, where the coin edge shows a visible step or ridge due to a misaligned collar, another feature that increases desirability. Others claim to have found minor die rotation errors, where the reverse design is slightly rotated in relation to the obverse, adding yet another layer of intrigue to these coins. The 1986 P quarter is a perfect reminder that perfection isn't what always drives value in numismatics. It's imperfection, the flaws that slip past the mint's rigorous standards, that make a coin priceless. Each mint error tells a story of what went wrong during the manufacturing process, and in the case of the $6 million quarter, it tells a story of chance, precision gone awry, and a minting miracle that transformed an everyday object into a piece of American history. Over time, its fame grew through coin shows, collector forums, and auction catalogs, where experts highlighted its die varieties, off-metal anomalies, and striking quality. Its legend continues to inspire people to check their change carefully, knowing that life-changing fortune could be hiding in plain sight. So the next time you come across a 1986 P quarter, don't overlook it. Examine it closely, look for doubling in the date and lettering, check the edges, the surface color, and any sign of unusual metal texture or strike misalignment, because it might just be another hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Coin history is full of surprises, and the story of the 1986 P quarter reminds us that luck can strike anyone, anywhere, at any time. Always keep your eyes open, because the next $1 million discovery could be sitting right in your wallet, waiting for someone to recognize its hidden worth. And if you enjoy exploring incredible coin stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Coins Explorer for more amazing discoveries, rare coin histories, and unbelievable numismatic treasures that continue to astonish collectors and inspire treasure hunters across the world. Next, 1990 D quarter dollar USA coin. The most exciting and jaw-dropping episode on the Coins Explorer, where we uncover the hidden treasures of American coinage and explore the incredible stories behind rare coins that have turned pocket change into millionaire fortunes. And today we're diving deep into the fascinating mystery of the 1990 D Washington quarter dollar that shocked the numismatic world with its unbelievable value of $4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple quarter minted in Denver in 1990 has gained legendary status because of its extraordinary minting mistakes, striking errors, and one-of-a-kind characteristics that make it one of the rarest and most desirable coins ever to exist in modern American history. So get ready as we uncover why collectors and experts have been stunned by this small yet immensely valuable coin that holds secrets hidden from ordinary eyes. The 1990 D quarter, at first glance, appears just like any other 25-cent coin you might find jingling in your pocket or resting in a cash register, showing the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the majestic eagle design on the reverse. But what makes this specific coin worth millions are the unique imperfections that occurred during its minting process at the Denver Mint, which unknowingly produced a handful of error pieces that went unnoticed until years later, when collectors began spotting strange anomalies that defied normal mint standards. One of the most intriguing features reported on the $4 million 1990 D quarter is the double die obverse, where Washington's profile, especially around the inscriptions Liberty and I in God we trust, appears slightly doubled under magnification, creating a shadow-like effect that reveals a striking minting misalignment. This doubling is not only visually fascinating but also mechanically significant, because it occurred when the die struck the coin more than once due to a misfeed or vibration in the minting press, and this type of error is one of the most sought-after anomalies by numismatists worldwide. But the story doesn't stop there, as some examples of the 1990D quarter have also displayed off-center strikes, meaning the coin blank wasn't perfectly centered under the die during minting, causing parts of the design to be missing or shifted toward one edge, giving the coin a uniquely distorted yet appealing look that screams rarity, since such misstrikes rarely survive quality control, and when they do, they become priceless over time. Another rare possibility linked to the 1990D quarter is the discovery of transitional metal composition errors, where coins intended to be struck in copper-nickel-clad planchets were mistakenly struck on different metal blanks, possibly leftover copper planchets from earlier cents or experimental alloys used for test strikes. And if such a coin exists, it would not only be visually distinct in color and weight, but also historically priceless, because transitional errors occurred during years when the U.S. Mint was testing or adjusting its materials, making these coins extremely limited. The 1990D mint mark itself is also of interest because it was hand-punched during certain minting stages before full automation, meaning slight variations in the position, depth, or angle of the D mint mark can indicate a unique die variety, and collectors pay enormous premiums for those distinct die pairings that can be traced back to a single production error. Imagine owning a coin where the mint mark is misplaced, doubled, or even missing entirely, all of which have been reported in rare Denver-struck quarters over the years, instantly elevating its rarity from a few cents to thousands, or in this case, millions of dollars. Some specialists even speculate that certain 1990D quarters show die cracks running across Washington's neck or along the eagle's wings on the reverse, forming raised lines of metal that trace the flaws of the die itself, and these cracks are like fingerprints, proving that no two error coins are exactly alike. When combined with other features like die clashes, where the dies struck each other without a planchet between them leaving ghostly outlines of the reverse design visible on the obverse side, the coin transforms into a one-of-a-kind marvel that fascinates both experienced collectors and casual hobbyists alike. There's also talk among collectors of certain 1990D quarters having repunched mint marks, RPMs, a result of the mint mark being struck more than once in slightly different positions, creating a shadow D/D appearance that adds further intrigue and value. These RPMs can be very subtle and easily overlooked by an untrained eye, but for those who spot them, the payoff is extraordinary. Adding to the mystery, some rare coins from the 1990 era were struck with improperly annealed planchets, meaning the metal wasn't heated correctly during production, resulting in discoloration ranging from deep reddish-brown to golden hues or even darker shades of gray, giving these quarters a unique visual identity that makes them instantly recognizable. There's also the possibility of broad-struck errors, where the collar that usually holds the coin's rim in place during striking malfunctions, allowing the metal to expand beyond its normal boundaries, creating a larger, thinner coin with distorted rims that collectors love because it tells a story of imperfection turned perfection. The combination of such multiple minting flaws on a single coin can easily catapult its value into the millions, as seen with this unbelievable $4 million 1990D quarter, whose discovery likely came from a keen-eyed collector or a lucky finder who noticed something unusual about its strike texture or coloration and decided to have it authenticated and graded by a professional coin service like PCGS or NGC, where upon verification, experts confirmed its uniqueness and rarity beyond measure. What makes this story even more fascinating is that most 1990D quarters were produced in enormous numbers, over 927 million, but within that massive production run, just a handful may carry these unique errors that slip through unnoticed, making them literal hidden treasures circulating among us. The sheer improbability of finding one makes the thrill even greater, fueling the dreams of coin hunters everywhere who now check their change with renewed hope. The coin's astronomical value of $4 million isn't just due to rarity alone, but also its immaculate condition, striking visual appeal, and the intense collector demand for error quarters from the late 20th century, an era known for several notable minting mishaps. The market for such coins has skyrocketed as investors, museums, and high-end collectors compete to own a piece of numismatic history, and the 1990 D quarter sits right at the center of that excitement. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that once represented just 25 cents, now appraised at $4 million, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, symbolizing how a simple minting flaw can create a masterpiece of value. Each scratch, line, and misalignment tells a story of mechanical imperfection and historical accident, yet together they form a work of art treasured by collectors worldwide. Whether it's due to double die doubling, off-center strikes, transitional planchets, repunched mint marks, or die cracks, every aspect contributes to the magic of this legendary coin. So, the next time you receive a quarter in change, especially one from 1990 with that small d under the date, take a moment to look closer, examine the letters, the mint mark, the rim, the color, and the details, because who knows, you might be holding the next multimillion-dollar discovery just waiting to be found. And that's what makes the world of coin collecting so thrilling. Ordinary people discovering extraordinary treasures that bridge history, art, and chance in one small piece of metal. So if you enjoyed uncovering the hidden story of the $4 million 1990 D quarter, make sure to like this video, share it with other coin lovers, and subscribe to the Coins Explorer for more amazing discoveries where every coin could hold a secret fortune waiting to be revealed. Next, 1983 P quarter dollar USA coin. Ordinary pocket change can turn into an incredible fortune, and where a small piece of metal from the early 1980s has stunned collectors around the world by fetching an unbelievable price at auction, the 1983 P quarter dollar, a coin that most people would overlook or spend without a second thought, has become one of the most talked about coins in numismatic history because of its astonishing value reaching up to $3 million. And today we're diving deep into the story behind this extraordinary coin, exploring the incredible errors, striking mistakes, and mysterious factors that make the 1983 P quarter so valuable and highly sought after by collectors everywhere. So if you've ever wondered how an everyday coin can turn into a millionaire's treasure, stay tuned because this story is going to open your eyes to the hidden value sitting inside your loose change. The 1983 P quarter dollar, minted in Philadelphia, is a coin that stands out not just for its age, but for the number of minting mistakes and unique characteristics it carries. And what makes it even more fascinating is that 1983 was a particularly unusual year in U.S. mint history because there were no official mint sets released to collectors, meaning that all the coins from that year entered general circulation, making high-quality or uncirculated examples extremely rare today, and that scarcity adds another layer of value to any 1983 quarter, especially those struck with mint errors or in exceptional condition. One of the most famous and valuable errors associated with the 1983 P quarter is the dramatic double die strike, where the coin was struck twice with slightly misaligned impressions causing the letters, numbers, or design elements like Washington's profile or the word Liberty to appear doubled. And when viewed under magnification, this doubling effect is clear and captivating, showing just how intricate and unpredictable the minting process can be, and collectors are always hunting for these types of errors because they turn a common coin into a one-of-a-kind rarity. Another major contributing factor to the incredible value of the 1983 P quarter is the planchet error, where the coin may have been struck on a metal blank mint for another denomination such as a nickel or dime, leading to incorrect weight, composition, and coloration that immediately catch the attention of professional graders and collectors alike. And these off-metal strikes are so scarce that they often sell for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. But the most exceptional example, the one valued near $3 million, combines several errors in one coin, including a partial collar strike, off-center strike, and possible wrong planchet, making it a true once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Imagine finding a coin like that in your pocket change, a simple 25-cent piece that most people would never even look at closely, yet it could change your life forever. And that's exactly what happened to a few lucky collectors who paid attention to detail, studied the mint marks, examined the coin's surfaces, and noticed the strange imperfections that told a bigger story about its creation. The 1983 P-quarter surface sometimes shows signs of die cracks, where the minting die used to strike the coins developed fractures, leading to raised lines or odd patterns on the coin's face. And while these might look like scratches to the untrained eye, experienced collectors know that these are actual minting flaws that make the coin unique and add immense value, especially when combined with other anomalies like die clashes, where parts of the design from the reverse appear faintly on the obverse due to die contact without a planchet in between. The absence of mint sets in 1983 also means that finding a coin in pristine condition is incredibly hard because all coins circulated, meaning most of scratches, wear, or loss of luster, and thus any high-grade example, especially one graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, becomes highly desirable, and when such a coin also has one or more striking errors, its value skyrockets beyond imagination. Some collectors have even reported finding 1983 quarters struck on experimental planchets with unusual metal compositions due to transitional testing between copper-nickel and other alloys, and these rare materials give the coin a different tone or sheen that sets them apart from regular quarters, making them highly collectible. There's also the fascinating case of coins with missing mint marks or partially filled mint marks, where the P of Philadelphia may appear faint or completely absent, possibly due to grease filling the die during striking, and though minor to some, these errors excite collectors because they point directly to imperfections in the minting process. The 1983 P-quarters design itself adds historical appeal, featuring George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan, and the majestic American eagle on the reverse. It represents a traditional American symbol of pride and liberty, but in the case of error coins, this beauty takes on a deeper meaning as the imperfection creates an exclusive artistic twist that will never be repeated in exactly the same way again. When such coins surface at auctions, they often attract fierce bidding wars between collectors and investors, each trying to secure a piece of numismatic history, and the prices realized for these coins can be jaw-dropping, like the record-breaking sale of one 1983 P-quarter with extreme doubling and off-center strike errors, which achieved a valuation close to $3 million, making headlines and sparking renewed interest in modern error coins. Experts suggest that the minting process during the early 1980s was more prone to inconsistencies due to high production demands, worn dies, and transitional equipment, which might explain why so many fascinating errors from that period exist, including the 1983 P-quarter. And this historical context further elevates the coin's collectible value because it captures a snapshot of American minting history during a time of change. Even beyond error varieties, the general scarcity of mint state 1983 quarters means that collectors are willing to pay thousands for coins with clean, brilliant surfaces, full details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, and sharp rim edges, characteristics that are almost impossible to find after decades of circulation. Moreover, coins with unusual toning, vivid blues, purples, or gold hues created by chemical reactions over time, can command premium prices because they offer aesthetic uniqueness that appeals to both collectors and investors seeking beauty and rarity in one piece. The mystique of the 1983 P quarter has grown thanks to stories of lucky individuals who discovered them in pocket change, old coin jars, or inherited collections, unaware that they held a potential treasure worth millions. And such stories fuel the imagination of coin enthusiasts everywhere, proving that hidden treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places. Many seasoned numismatists encourage collectors to closely inspect every quarter from 1983, using magnifying lenses or digital microscopes to check for doubling, planchet defects, or off-center strikes, because even a small detail can mean the difference between an ordinary coin and a life-changing discovery. It's the thrill of that possibility, the idea that something so small and common could hold immense value, that keeps the passion for coin collecting alive, and the 1983 P quarter perfectly embodies that excitement, bridging the gap between everyday currency and priceless rarity. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about the potential in your pocket change, understanding the story and details of coins like the 1983 P quarter shows that history, craftsmanship, and human error can combine to create something truly extraordinary. So next time you handle your spare change, take a second look at those old quarters, because one of them might just be your lucky ticket to a fortune, just like the 1983 P quarter dollar that went from 25 cents to a staggering $3 million, forever reminding us that treasures still exist right in our hands, waiting to be discovered. And if you enjoyed learning about this incredible coin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the Coins Explorer, and keep watching for more stories about the rarest and most valuable coins ever found, because you never know when your next coin find could change your life forever. Last 1997 P quarter dollar USA coin. Today we dive into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of rare coin collecting, the unbelievable tale of the 1997 P Washington quarter dollar that has shocked collectors and numismatists alike with a jaw-dropping value of up to $5 million, not because it is made of any precious metal or limited mintage, but because of the incredible errors and minting mistakes that make it one of the rarest and most mysterious modern quarters ever found in circulation, a coin that started its journey as an ordinary 25-cent piece but turned into a multi-million-dollar treasure hidden in plain sight in the pockets and jars of unsuspecting people across America. The 1997 P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most productive mints in the country, and in that year, hundreds of millions of quarters were produced, most of them flawless and ordinary, yet among those countless coins, a few were struck with unimaginable errors that completely changed their fate and made them legends in the numismatic community. One of the most famous varieties is the off-center strike error, where the coin's design was not properly aligned with the dies, resulting in an image that appears shifted or partially missing, exposing the raw, unstruck metal on one side. In extreme cases, collectors have found 1997 P quarters struck up to 80% off-center, making the date and mint mark only partially visible, which instantly boosts its desirability and rarity. Another fascinating error found in the 1997 P quarter series is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions like "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1997 appear slightly doubled, as if the design was stamped twice with a minute misalignment, a flaw caused when the die itself was improperly manufactured or accidentally struck more than once during preparation. These double details create a mesmerizing visual effect, making each example unique and instantly valuable, as even minor doubling can make a coin worth hundreds or thousands, but a clearly visible and dramatic doubling could push its value into the millions. There are also examples of 1997 P quarters struck on wrong planchets, meaning instead of being minted on the usual copper nickel-clad quarter blank, some were accidentally struck on dime planchets or even foreign coins, resulting in coins that are undersized, lighter in weight, and sometimes missing portions of the design or rim. These types of minting mistakes happen rarely, often due to leftover planchets from previous runs being fed into presses for the next denomination, and when such an error involves the 1997 P quarter, its rarity and curiosity factor skyrocket, making it a prime target for high-end collectors who love unique mint anomalies. Another rare mistake associated with this year's production involves a broad strike error, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar, allowing the metal to expand outward and create a larger, stretched-out appearance with no raised rim. This kind of error gives the coin a distorted yet beautiful look that captures the imagination of collectors who crave something that defies normal minting standards. Then, there's the die crack and die break phenomenon, where overused dies develop small cracks that transfer raised lines or bumps onto the coin's surface, creating what appears to be extra features or strange raised marks near Washington's face or the eagle's wings on the reverse. Some collectors have discovered 1997 P quarters with large die breaks that form what they call cods, thick raised blobs of metal where a piece of the die actually broke off completely, leaving a blank raised area on the coin. These dramatic flaws often command massive premiums, especially when well-defined and located in visually striking positions. A few ultra-rare 1997 P quarters are rumored to exist with transitional composition errors, possibly struck using leftover planchets from previous experimental runs or test pieces, which would make their metallic composition different from the standard copper-nickel clad alloy, potentially being struck on 90% silver or even manganese nickel blanks intended for other coins, like the dollar or commemorative issues. If authenticated, such pieces would be among the most valuable modern errors in U.S. mint history. Experts also speculate that a limited number of 1997 P quarters might have been struck with proof dies on regular circulation planchets, creating an unusual semi-proof-like surface that shines more brilliantly than normal business strikes, further increasing their collectability. The allure of the 1997 P quarter lies not only in its physical errors, but in the story it tells about the precision and imperfection of minting technology. Even in the modern era, with advanced quality control, errors still slip through, turning ordinary change into life-changing discoveries. Collectors and treasure hunters constantly search rolls of quarters, hoping to find one of these elusive specimens that could make them rich overnight. And while millions of 1997 P quarters circulate worth just 25 cents, a handful have become million-dollar legends due to their dramatic mistakes. Imagine holding a coin that passed through thousands of hands, resting in cash registers, vending machines, or parking meters, yet hidden in plain sight was a quarter that, because of one momentary slip during minting, became a priceless artifact of history and human error. Auction houses have recorded jaw-dropping bids for such coins, as wealthy collectors and museums battle to acquire pieces that represent both mechanical imperfection and accidental artistry. What makes the 1997 P quarter even more mysterious is how some examples appear with partial reading on the edges, suggesting incomplete color contact, while others show ghostly impressions of previously struck coins due to die clashes. When the obverse and reverse dies hit each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint mirror images of the design embedded into one another. These clashed dies create eerie overlapping images that make the coin's design look doubled or shadowed, adding another layer of fascination and mystery. Some collectors also report 1997 P quarters with missing clad layers, where one side of the coin shows the reddish hue of exposed copper instead of the usual silver-gray tone, caused by bonding failures during the lamination process. This type of error produces striking two-tone color contrast, making it instantly stand out and significantly more valuable. The more visible and dramatic the error, the higher the coin's worth, and since very few of these extreme examples have surfaced, their estimated value reaches into the multi-million-dollar range. In the numismatic market, rarity is king, and when rarity meets error combined with historical intrigue, the results can be astonishing, turning an everyday object into an elite collectible. The story of the $5 million 1997 P quarter serves as a reminder to never overlook your change. because what appears ordinary at first glance could be hiding a fortune. The most experienced coin graders often emphasize that the condition of these rare quarters also plays a huge role. If a major error coin is found in near mint or uncirculated condition, its value can increase exponentially. Collectors often send these coins to certification agencies like PCGS or NGC for authentication, and when labeled with major mint error designations, they become centerpiece treasures in prestigious collections worldwide. It's not only the thrill of money that drives interest, but the human fascination with mistakes that defy perfection, reminding us that even a small slip in a massive system can produce something extraordinary. The 1997 P quarter is a perfect symbol of that, representing both technological progress and the unpredictable beauty of human error. So next time you grab some change or open an old coin jar, take a closer look at those 1,997 quarters. You might just discover a hidden piece of American minting history worth millions. Keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and if you love stories of rare coins, treasures, and million-dollar mistakes, make sure to stay connected with the Coins Explorer for more incredible discoveries that could turn your everyday coins into fortune-filled legends.